So I've actually owned the iPhone 14 Pro for a little bit over a month now, and I have not switched to this phone at all, and I honestly have no plans on switching over to this device anytime soon. Now, typically whenever I buy the brand new iPhone, it does take me about a few weeks to go and switch over. I don't, fully transition over to it yet because I'm still doing comparisons. I still have all these things to do, so there's no point in switching over to it yet. So regardless of any phone I pick up, it does take me a little bit of time to, transition over to it. But with the iPhone 14 Pro, even though this iPhone is already in my possession, I don't even think I'm going to switch over to it from my iPhone 13 Pro. And there's a few different reasons for this. The number one reason, I think, in my opinion, is probably the SIM card tray. This I look at almost like the headphone jack back in 2016 when Apple went ahead and removed that. I just did not want to go and upgrade to a 7 Plus at the time because I just thought when I upgraded, I would be losing out on so many features with that headphone jack. And honestly, it was a weird transition, but after a few days, you kind of get used to it. The same thing is kind of there with the iPhone 14 Pro. So many people I know have already transitioned over to the iPhone 14s, but I don't really see them complaining too much about the SIM card tray anymore. There are a few cases where some people are still having issues utilizing a SIM card tray or utilizing that eSIM within that 14 Pro. So I do think for the next few weeks and probably the next few months, there's going to be this humongous evolution and so many updates happening for eSIM, for the iPhone 14 Pro, for iOS 16 in general, and a lot more stabilized versions of softwares coming out. So I don't want to be in the midst of that and then having issues with my current device when I could just wait out a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months, and then transition over to that. But honestly, I don't even have like a transition date. Like I don't even think I'm going to go ahead and upgrade to the iPhone 14 Pro. I might end up keeping it more so like an iPhone 14 or the 13 or the 12s that I have, where I just, use it every once in a while as a secondary phone, compare it to the newest devices, and then keep it at that. My iPhone 13 Pro was such an amazing device and I had such an amazing time with it that I honestly, when I look at the 14 Pro, it's not that big of an upgrade in my opinion. There are some cool features added, there are some new changes, but from everything Apple stated, from everything Apple's done, they haven't done enough, I think, to even transition me, somebody who already has the 14 Pro, to upgrade and then just go through the whole entire process and then have to deal with the bugs and everything. The bug to feature ratio, there's just not that much stuff going on with the 14 Pro. I think even with the dynamic island, where it is, I'll justify an update from the iPhone 13 Pro. So I would say if Apple brought things like reverse wireless charging, if they brought other things like split screen multitasking, that would be more software, then that would be some really cool stuff I would update to. But for the time being, for the 14 Pro, I think it was a pretty small update. I think the 13 Pro was a massive update, and I do plan on keeping the 13 Pro for a much longer period of time probably. And I guess we're going to see what happens in the future. But in terms of that kind of covers it up here. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.